To marry the prince, this girl literally chopped off her own toes, but she had no idea. Everything she desperately chased would turn into a total joke first. Because that's the only way she can squeeze into that shoe, score a chance to marry the prince and become the princess every girl envies. But Elvira, Miis, set up and chopped her right foot instead of her left. When her mother finds out, she helps her chop off the left one too. But to win the prince's heart, the crazy things Elvira did went way beyond this. From how she originally looked to changing her face for beauty, the price she paid was straight up body horror. But in the end, she realizes the absolute clown was herself. The story begins. Elvira, her mother Rebecca, and her sister arrive at Otto's house in a carriage because Otto's wife just passed away and he is looking for a companion. And Rebecca has been a widow for years and doesn't want to live alone anymore. The two hit it off instantly and get married that very day. But during the celebration that night, the next second, he coughs up a geyser of blood and drops dead on the spot. Rebecca is completely stunned. Her brand new husband, gone just like that. The next day, Elvira goes to the room to comfort Agnes, but unexpectedly finds out. Only reason Otto married her mother was because his family was already bankrupt. He was just after their savings. Elvira immediately runs to tell Rebecca. Rebecca collapses straight to the floor. She finally married into nobility, only for the husband to die and the house to be dirt poor. Seeing her mother break down, Elvira steps up and says she can marry a rich guy to change things. But Rebecca knows, with the way Elvira looks right now, getting into high society is a joke. Until one day, a royal messenger comes to the house. The king is hosting a ball at the castle. The prince will choose his future bride there. As a noble stepdaughter, Elvira receives an invitation too. She can't stop grinning, because marrying the prince has always been her biggest dream. But she also knows she stands zero chance looking like this. So Rebecca LLs everything they own and takes her to the most experienced plastic surgeon. The surgeon takes a quick measurement with a ruler and lays out the extreme makeover plan. First, get rid of the braces, then reset the nose bone. Finally, the eyelash surgery. That'll be enough to attract the prince. Elvira is incredibly excited. First up is removing the braces. She looks way fresher once they're off. Then comes the nose surgery. The surgeon jams a chisel against her nose bone and hammers down. Strike after strike, zero anesthesia the entire time. When the surgery ends, Elvira has to wear a nose cast for a long time to heal. Meanwhile, the girls at the ball have to prepare a group dance. To get Elvira in the most visible spot, Rebecca straight up bribes the dance teacher and lands her dead center. But Elvira has another issue. She is too fat, but refuses to control her eating, so she sneaks into the woods and swallows a tapeworm egg. That way, no matter how much food she packs away, the worm sucks up all the nutrients. But she has no clue how horrifying the price will be. Right after swallowing the egg, she hears a noise in the woods. Walking closer to check, it is actually Prince Julian out hunting, seeing her dream guy for the first time. Elvira gets so excited, she almost trips. The noise immediately catches everyone's attention, but when the prince gets a clear look at her, he brutally mocks her as an ugly duckling, and his crew joins right in. Elvira is devastated. She turns and runs, but she still hides in the distance, staring helplessly at the prince, fantasizing about their future together. That night, Elvira passes the stables and hears a strange noise. She goes in and catches Agnes secretly hooking up with Isaac, the stable boy. Turns out they've been madly in love, but with their massive class divide, they never dared to take it public, let alone get married. And Agnes is supposed to go to the ball. If the prince chooses her, they might never see each other again. But out of everyone, Elvira is the one who catches them red-handed. The next morning, she spills everything to Rebecca. Rebecca goes absolutely ballistic, straight up bans Agnes from the ball and forces her to work like a slave. Elvira is thrilled. That is one less major rival to worry about. Meanwhile, Isaac gets kicked out of the house. Agnes can only watch helplessly as her lover is dragged away. As time passes, Elvira's nose finally heals, and she looks way more beautiful, but looking at naturally stunning Agnes, she still feels like she falls way short, so she decides to double down on the beauty. This time, it is the eyelash surgery. The surgeon stuffs fake lashes into her eyelids and stitch them right in with a needle and thread. The pain keeps her awake all night, and that very night, she feels something squirming in her stomach. The tapeworm is starting to grow. From then on, she gets constantly starved and completely dependent on food, but the side effects start hitting hard: hair loss, nutrition. Her health completely deteriorates. Even so, she refuses to take the medicine because she is terrified of losing her figure. Finally, the day of the ball arrives. To make sure her daughter stands out, Rebecca drops a fortune on a custom gown and makes a custom wig. On she is fully glammed up. Elvira looks like a completely different person. When she gets to the castle, she is completely blown away by the luxury. It looks just like a literal fairy tale, thanks to the dress and the plastic surgery. Elvira successfully steals the entire spotlight. When she makes her entrance, countless men stare with their jaws dropped. Even Prince Julian is totally hypnotized. He has absolutely zero clue. She is that same girl from the woods. When the dance ends, it is finally time to pick the bride. The prince slowly walks past the lineup of girls. Just as Elvira's anxiety hits its peak, the prince suddenly walks right up to her and asks her to dance. Elvira is so thrilled she can barely breathe.
Ers kungliga höghet.
Vill du göra mig den äran?
They move closer and closer on the dance floor, but right at that second, a girl in a simple dress and a mask walks into the hall. The prince's eyes lock onto her instantly. He walks straight over to her and invites her to dance. Elvira stands there realizing all her days of agony and sacrifice mean absolutely nothing. And worse, the tapeworm inside her acts up. She rushes into the dressing room and literally vomits up a horror show of parasite eggs. When her mother sees this, instead of caring about her health, she forces her to get back out there and chase the opportunity. But Elvira's attention is completely locked on the mystery girl, UN. Till the very end, she finally realizes that girl is actually Agnes. Right after, Agnes rushes out of the ball, but leaves behind a single shoe. The prince picks up the shoe and announces to the crowd, whoever can fit into this shoe will be the future PR. Incest. Back home, Elvira goes completely insane to force her way into that shoe. She literally chops off her own toes and even messes up the other foot too. But all of this is completely in vain. When the prince actually rolls up to the house to find the owner, Elvira drags her mangled body desperately down the stairs and takes a massive tumble, looking completely pathetic. And the girl who actually fits the shoe is still Agnes in the end. Agnes marries the prince, even though the one she truly loves has always been Isaac. The prince gets the girl of his dreams, and Elvira finally learns the hard way that love bought with self-destruction never lasts. She decides to let go of her obsession and takes the medicine. Then that massive tapeworm is slowly inch by inch pulled out of her body. By the end of the story, Rebecca spends all her days partying with some noble she met at the ball, completely ignoring the two sisters. So Elvira and Agnes leave this place behind to start a brand new life.